But color girls too, because
yeah. Vanglorious Vanguard.
Knowledge born.
Yeah.
United front.
Tell it.
What you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got? Dot.
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for validation, a paycheck or accolades, we'd be starved, already lost or ran away. But when you're square, solid, and you circle too, you don't need a place for silence. The concept is conquered through media, not areas of people activity. A mix that don't lose ethnicity, tightness that don't lose elasticity. Explicitly, this isn't where we give the novice regard. Nah, this is where knowledge is born. Last time that I checked, I'm undefeated. Deliver edicts, can't resist when the gods build and manifest freedom. When lines get crossed, they may push a loss, cause they get handed a check. We kick your can and cancel your cancerous gestures. A prophet vision, precision, the prescription for the sickness is to inoculate your fate with the winning. Arrogant beginnings turn to humble endings. And US with KBA is a win-win. 1K.
Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Friday Night Fights. Friday Night Fights with all of the lights. Shout out to the lights in the building. Okay, and we got the Israelite warrior in the building, ready for the Friday Night Light Fights. So let's welcome to the platform our own Israelite African warrior who don't take nobody ish, whether they look like us or no. We got Sass, aka Bahia Sass.
Sass, aka Bahia Sass.
Yeah. That's what you got on here today, so I gotta read it like
yeah. I mean, I did that for a reason. Bahia, that's how we would say it in the Lashawan Kodash.
Oh.
But yeah, that's how we would say it. Bahia means beautiful in, I guess, in Arabic, but there's a ya
Arabic
there,
Swahili.
And it's Swahili beautiful, yeah. So
Dazzling.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's right.
Intelligent.
Mm-hmm. And there's a ya in the end, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But shalom to everyone. Shabbat shalom tomorrow morning.
Shabbat shalom tomorrow morning.
Facts. To Israel. Yeah. To Israel. And what we talking about? We're paying homage, right?
Yes, we are paying homage to an African warrior who dedicated her life to the well-being and transformation of Black families, especially the Black woman. Our esteemed warrior ancestor, Dr. Betty Shabazz, who was the wife and the complement and the catalyst
in the rib,
the adherence of healthy living to our warrior ancestor, Hajj Malik El Shabazz, affectionately known to the world as Minister Malcolm X, Brother Omar Wali. What was you about to say?
I said that was his rib.
Okay.
That was a joke. Okay.
But I know,
Anyway.
I was with you. I was with you.
All
I know.
right.
I was with you.
Okay, that was like an awkward, long pause, but
I had
okay.
to let it live. Cat, con, con.
Um, yeah. Legal name Haj Bahia Betty Shabazz, born in 1936. My book, shout out to the writers of the Black Women in America. A book written by some sisters for the sisters. And I believe that the sisters should be teaching about the sisters. What do you think?
That's right.
Leave it up to men. It's just right over. It'll be, I don't know,
Would it be what?
lost. Probably lost.
Lost.
Or probably just, there'll probably be like a little like excerpt or something on the side.
Excerpt. A little
Yeah, but
rib.
then, but of course, not taking away anything from a husband, but I mean, and you made a good point. Every time someone's talking about Betty Shabazz, they was bringing Malcolm. But she has her own accomplishments, obviously.
This beautiful divine woman who we deify those who know, whom we have allowed the media and other people to forget or demonize as of recently, with regard and respect to her representation in these films. As of lately, these fucking TV shows, and the African woman as a whole, throughout her sojourn in the Americas, is something that infuriates me to high heaven. We have a sister who came up in the foster care system and was fortunate enough by the grace of our Creator to place her in a home to a mother and a father who would rear her and teach her Black pride and Black empowerment, and who loved her in that instance, for her to pursue her education and then to come to the ranks of the Nation of Islam as a warrior for the proper health and diet and restoration of the people who would come into the Nation of Islam. The sisters most specific, but the people as a whole. Because the mandate of that nation was that a nation could rise no higher than its women. And you can judge a nation's morality, and success by how that nation treats and protects their woman. So that space is the context I'm operating in, because 9 days ago, everyone was up in arms in an ode to Al-Hajj Malik Shabazz, Brother Omar Wali, affectionately known to the world as Malcolm X. And no one, save for a few, was even in a space of acknowledgement of this divine woman, this divine African woman who loved us so, this divine African woman who was a sojourner in the continuity for the world to even be enthralled and inspired by Malcolm's work and his legacy. A woman that stood firm and strong for 32 years after losing the only man that she ever loved, raised 6 children, 6 warrior daughters, while being encircled and sought to be capitalized off of and made mockery of Malcolm's legacy. Her legacy. She sacrificed her legacy so that the world might know Malcolm's legacy. So books like Growing Up X, not the autobiography of Malcolm X, were made, who would help rear up a grandson, Malcolm Latif Shabazz. And on June 23rd of 1997, 32 years later, she would transition from wounds sustained in a fire, risking her life and limb to save her grandson, Malcolm Latif Shabazz. So for the credit to not be received, for her not to be mentioned and honored, and so many African women like her, the epitome of our ancestral lineage in regards to our nation's rise and success and virility, the disrespect and the dishonor that is shown, that is filtered through, supposed to be Black filmmakers, Black actresses, donning her personage to show her in a manner that's not befitting to her, as they have shown through the films and through the entertainment industry and in life. The degradation and disrespect for the African. This figure in history that we can't relegate to body parts. This figure in history that we can't relegate to snappy speech or any of these other things that we are looking now and witnessing. The revision by the reviser. It's unspeakable. And even in the circles amongst the African or the African-centered or the proposed African-centered or the Pan-African or the ones who talk about the Black woman as God and all of that, there's no space of reverence and honor for the African woman. There's no space and honor for the protection, for the upliftment by women. Very little. And this is a wonderful yet tragic example of how neglect comes into play. And that type of disrespect becomes a situation that need to be rectified, that needs to be adjudicated, that needs to be eradicated.
Okay, so you may go down the credentials or
Yes, please.
Yes. Okay.
Kane,
Okay.
Khan.
She was born in Detroit, Michigan. So that's not a credential, but I just needed to put that there. She attended Tuskegee Institute, Brooklyn State Hospital School of Nursing, so she was a nurse, and Jersey City State College certified school nurse, and has a BA in public health education. She has a certification. I'll say had a certification in early childhood education and completed a thesis on sickle cell anemia, or a master's degree in public health administration, and then completed a PhD in education administration at University of Massachusetts at Amherst. You mentioned she was a mother of 6 children. Strong interest was in education. And that right there is something that her and Malcolm had in common. So that would make sense, her being attracted to a smart guy, right? Because she was smart and she, had a strong interest in education. So that sounds about right. It says here she devoted her time to improving conditions for disadvantaged children. She was a volunteer in early childhood education and on the Sickle Cell Telethon Advisory Board, and performed local PTA work in a high school for pregnant students. And Shabazz served as a director of the African-American Foundation, the Women's Service League, and the Daycare Council of Westchester County, and she was a trustee of the National Housewives League. National Housewives League. She was a member of the Board of Education of the Union Free School District 13 and a co-chair of the advisory board of the Amsterdam News in New York City. She worked as a university instructor. She was a community activist and a registered nurse. She served as director of institutional advancement in alumni affairs at Medgar Evers College in New York City, and as the chairman of the 41st National Council of Negro Women Convention. That's important. Negro Women Convention in New York City, and Mount Holyoke College in South Hadley, Massachusetts. A cultural center has been named in her honor. She remained active in Delta Sigma Theta sorority, so she was also in a Greek sorority. So that's her. It's impressive, actually. And she made well for herself. And being able to provide for herself and her children, like, that's amazing, because that's hard. That's hard to do. I'm struggling in the master's department right now. I don't have 6 children. So yeah.
Twins.
What happened?
Twins.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 6 daughters. And she had the BA.
Yeah,
So,
she had already had that.
right. So she had the BA, and then to pursue higher education with 6 daughters after. See what I'm saying? So,
Right.
masters, and then PhD, and then all of these committees,
Right.
all of this volunteer work, all of this
Right.
activism, even a professor. You see what I'm saying? Like, all of these things that require time and sacrifice in a space where you don't really have neither. And still finding time to, I'm here, with these young women, because she knows what it was like to be a young mother. You see what I'm saying? She is a couple of years younger than Malcolm. He was born in 25. She was born in 34, right? So 9 years younger.
36.
36.
Yeah.
So, the difference about a couple of years. See what I'm saying? So that difference in age. So he died at 39. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So a young mother, 6 children, widow. So intervening in those affairs and also intervening in early childhood education because she grew up in the foster care system. And she saw what the foster care system did to her husband and what she was spared from by being placed in a home where they loved her versus what Malcolm went through. You see what I'm saying? And his brothers and sisters and how that affected him. But they both gave them an opportunity to go as hard as they did for our people, to see the horrors and to hear the horror stories and to see them being brought into, organizations for repair. And also to have that organization that you devoted your life to betray you. That conversation right there. And to have the resolve to minister to the minister of the world and share her husband with the world at the expense of her family, at the expense of her children, the father to her family, the husband to her, the kind of sacrifice. See, we be talking about, you know, people of yesterday or people of a time when we're talking about it. And you dealing with an African woman that had to sojourn through all of this shit right here, left alone. So all the people that wouldn't come see me as an African man after I die, they come to you now. And you know that these are my enemies. And they looking. They came to Dr. Betty Shabazz to try to take her children. We won't be getting into them conversations. They came to her and was trying to prove her unfit, the same way they came to Malcolm's mother after the death of his father. And they were successful in splitting them up and putting them into foster care and putting her into a sane asylum. Do you know they tried that shit with Dr. Betty Shabazz? We don't have these conversations. We don't have these conversations. Our sister is the one that they call loudmouth and troublemaker and all this other shit that they come difficult. Because when she speaks the truth and when she don't take our bullshit, you understand? Like this is how she got to suffer. She not uplifted for speaking truth. She not uplifted for making it plain, for voicing her disdain, for calling us to action if we supposed to be who the fuck we say we are. The enemies swooped in and preyed on the family. Came in with false promises. Came in with money and all kinds of shit. She stood firm. Not only did she stand firm, but you hear from her credentials that she devoted her life to service, to sisters, and to children. to establishing sisterhood, to celebrating motherhood and womanhood. These conversations is not had. This African woman with the resolve, putting up with the disrespect, putting up with the disloyalty, putting up with the betrayal, putting up with the mental, emotional, psychological, physical abuse, suffering in silence. They know her pain. They know her struggle. They came to make $1 off of her. They came to make $1 off of her. That's why some of the disdain I express is for that disdain, because I know. I can't even imagine what an African woman got to endure and just walk around with and act like ain't nothing wrong. And devote her happiness and her time and her sanity to everybody other than herself. And when she takes some time for herself, she looked at like she's selfish, like she betrayed the world.
Are you there?
I'm here.
Oh,
I had to take a moment to gather myself because
okay.
I felt myself going someplace else.
Oh, okay.
It almost turned into Wednesday. It almost turned into Wednesday over here. You know, it's Friday. It ain't Wednesday.
Yeah, it's Friday.
Had to reel myself back in. Had to reel myself back in. What's going down on Wednesday, though?
National Housewives League.
Right.
She was a housewife. She was until she lost her husband. She could no longer be a housewife, but looks like she encouraged it. I didn't know that she was the chairman of the National Council of Negro Women's Convention. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Maybe I forgot because I knew I read this before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think around this time last year, I'm sure we did something. I know we did something. There's no way in the world we let this go by.
Yeah, it's a lot of controversy when we speak about the Negro Women Convention. That these different organizations here, but she worked in a high school for pregnant students. Once again, and yeah, there you go. I mean, it's short. This excerpt is short and sweet to the point, and I think that she made it into this book because of her involvement with the National Council of Negro Women's Convention. To be honest with you, I didn't take her as, huh?
Go ahead.
I didn't take her as like a to be like a soldier or anything. To me, she was a housewife, you know. Like you didn't
Mhm.
never hear anything, ill will. I never seen her with a picture with a gun like you see the Black Panthers. I've never seen that. Um, doesn't mean it didn't happen, but they don't show that. So yeah, her role was specifically, and I find that interesting. Specifically interesting because Malcolm X being one who believed in defense, being armed. Um, but this is not something that I don't know if he like outwardly taught. I'm not sure that women need to do this thing. It's just I see a contrast between her and the women in the Black Panther Party.
Mhm.
I don't know if you want to expound on that. What do you think about that?
I
She
know,
basically she was more of a traditional, wife, homemaker, mother. Like she that's what she was. Like essentially, even though she had education, it's like she put all that down, got married, and
right.
became those things. That's it. So yeah.
Well, she, from some of my teachers, one in specific, you talked about her and a lot of the things that she had to endure. If you remember how Tupac talked about Afeni, and he talked about her leaving the front lines of the Panther movement to be his mother, be a mother to him and his sister, and how it used to be big crowds that came out in her support and all the awards and things like that, and how they all went away, and how the crowds went away. You know, people don't even mention her. You know, it was people that was around right after Malcolm was assassinated. There was a small group of people that protected the family with their lives, and a vast amount of people who came to suck the blood. A vast amount of people, black and white, that came to suck the blood. So became her focus like it was in the nation, but outside of the nation with the sisters and the children. So her weaponization was health and education. And her militant stance was redirected in a way of achieving self awareness through activism and through spirituality. Her, like Malcolm, she was a devout Muslim, you know, and she walked that path until her transition. So her militancy became a militant focus in the realm of practicality and having to weather a storm. She had a choice to make, but the choice was already made. But again, like you said, women should teach about women and My sources were men, you know, who had protection roles within the family dynamic from Muslim Mosque Incorporated, from Organization African American Unity, from them times. And some people that wasn't in the organizational structure, they just were there at that time then, because there was a lot of advisors, and Malcolm took a lot of counsel from you know, a bunch of different sources of people from around the globe.
These long pauses, guy, like I'm
My bad.
like,
I should say I'm done. I should say I'm done at the end. Look at Ra coming over here trying to see a fight.
or
You,
maybe
you
like just say like, or come in with a question or something instead of dead
just
air.
pausing. My bad.
Yeah,
My
like
bad.
what is that? That's
Ra
new.
coming in here trying to see a fight. Look at Ra. He coming in here with sugar on his grits.
I'm not trying to win today. I'll just
We we not fighting today, Ra. I got whooped, 3 times in a row. So Sass gave me a day off, a week off to recuperate from
yeah,
all them
and I
butt
think
whooping.
that video went bye bye, right?
I think it's still up. I had
I
got a
don't
thing
know,
that's saying that it was gone, but I saw it.
because that was good material there. I killed you, and on Love Jones. So
Yeah, you did. You did that.
I can't tell if if you mean that or
We
you're
could just
just
clap together.
see, yeah, or being sarcastic or.
Right,
But I
being
know I
stuff.
won't.
I'm giving props. Okay, I'm giving
Yeah, because I
props.
knew that.
Right.
Yeah, well, it is kind of sad that she got a little excerpt in here. Like it's very small, and I understand because of the politics behind it. The feminist thing or whatever. It totally goes against you know what is taught. What was taught in Betty Shabazz's world goes against their whole narrative. It's a conflict. So like I said, they gave her this little place in here because of that National Council of Negro Women convention. But that Delta Sigma Theta was before she got married. So thankfully, not to say it's a bad organization. I don't know, but I'm sort of biased against things like that. But what do you think about that? Her, you know, joining a black sorority in college, because we are talking about, uh, you know, Betty Shabazz, no one else, right?
Sister gave a complete breakdown on the importance of Cyrus. Oh yeah, damn! Like damn, Rod,
Oh
you
my
missed
God,
all
that
of
was
that. You
he
you
missed it.
missed you missed
It's a wrap.
everything.
It's a
You
wrap. Look,
missed you
look.
missed everything. Okay, you missed that whole behind whooping I got. I got a behind whooping the week before that. Into that deep, I got jumped. Matter of
You're not
fact,
sounding genuine right now, but
I
you
got
know.
I got jumped. As a matter of fact, okay, I got Rodney King.
Uh-oh.
Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it? Okay, so yeah, for the time, organizations was those were necessary. So for her being a part of an organization like that, especially in that time, it was Pinnacle. Uh, what's the Baba's name? Baba Dale Jones said in his time in the 60s, if you wanted to rap to a sister, he did the little mock example of what it was. You know, he say hello to a sister, hello sister. She'd be like, hello Dale. You know, he's like, I want to get to know you. And she said, well, who you with? What organization are you a part of? So you are socialized based off of your inclination or a part of an organization of some sort and what that organization was doing for the people, for the community, whatever the case may be. So that was a time that things were heavily organizationally driven. So I could see her aligning herself, especially in those formative years, and taking those tenets that she learned there into the Nation of Islam. So it would make good sense for the time. I know a lot of brothers and sisters from then who were involved in fraternal organizations, and that was their first peek and look then into Black history, Black consciousness, and approaching things from an organizational standpoint. So I don't know about nowadays. I know about then. I could see it as a viable option.
All right. So yeah, that's Betty Shabazz for you.
Okay, so what about this other part? We
I
got like
don't. You didn't give
we
me any
got
examples. I have no idea. So
we got like 20 minutes left. So I'm saying in regards to, well, not just movies. Well, we could even throw movies out because there was no. You said there's no movies. So what
I
about
didn't say
in
there was no
music?
movies. It's just that I can't think of right off the
Right,
top right
right. So that's what I'm saying. You're saying the same thing. So because movies didn't come up, specifically. So what about music and real life? You know, how do you think that the African woman, Black women are portrayed?
to who?
To Black women, how do you think Black women are portrayed?
Oh, I thought you said portrayed. You said betrayed.
Well, portrayed. Excuse me, my bad.
It depends. It depends on who's doing the portraying of us. So I was asking you like who
So
because mm-hmm.
by Black women, by Black men, by our enemies. Is the Black woman getting a fair representation by anyone, including herself? Is a better question.
No, a Black woman is ignored.
That's it.
Yeah, simple. No, it's not. That's not it. But I'm just saying that's. I mean, I thought that was a powerful statement I've just made.
That's a bar.
Yeah.
That's a bar. That's a fact. That's a condemnation. That's a motivation. That's a whole bunch. I thought you was going to get a little uh, explanatory.
I mean, I can. We have done great things, and we continue to do great things. I have many books about Black women, so I mean, there's no under representation when it comes out of our community. There's none, because women keep it alive. Most books written about Black women or about a Black woman is written by a woman of of color most, but then there's
A woman of who?
woman of I said it right. I said it right. Um no, I said it right. From our community, women of color and white women. It's mostly written by white women, but mostly by Black women. So I mean, I don't think that there's an underrepresentation of Black women when it comes to information. It's just that it's ignored. That's what I'm getting at.
So whites
take it upon themselves to inject themselves, and I did come out with that term last time we talked about it. Hell in my notes. Oh my God, where am I? What did she call it? She was feeling kind of like she was feeling guilty. That guilt thing that white people, when they study, they feel like they have an obligation to kind of clean up the mess that was made during slavery, or the whole, yeah. I forgot this. I laughed at it when,
right.
Yeah, because now it's a condition. It's like a mental condition.
Right.
They made this thing. And that's exactly what it is, because they're trying to name it that, I guess. So they're like almost embarrassed that they carried out, slavery in this way, I guess. And I say it in this way because, slavery is an English word. Servitude is an English word. What's the other one they use? If it's not slavery, it's something about volunteering to be a slave. I've heard of that one as a way of of saying that, or whatever. There's different levels to slavery. It could be like a servant or whatever. I mean, it gets misconstrued, but this thing here says, because this goes with oh my God, how did I mess that up? Good Lord. Okay, so I messed this up because I had my page here, man. Like, oh my God, it was great because it was talking about slavery compared to the European type of slavery, like the British slavery versus the American slavery, right? Because they will lie and say that there was no slavery in the UK, right? Where is I'll find it. I should have underlined something or whatever. But the point I'm making is that they inject themselves into Black culture by wanting to teach it, right? Mm-hmm. So a lot of them end up writing about Black women. So it's not underrepresented. It's just straight up ignored. That's all. The information is out there. Not all women are included. You must understand that not everybody's going to write about certain things. I don't find my hero in here, Julia Hare. I don't find her in this book, and I probably will never find her in any book. Anybody's talking about her, because people thought she was off her rocker. The way she spoke. So she won't make it into books like this because people are not going to read books like that. Like, that's not what people want to read. It's not colorful enough, right? It's too strong for the average mind, probably even the average Black mind. And that's not an insult. It's just that with this whole inclusion thing, it's saying that color or race doesn't matter anymore. It's just who you are or who you want to be. You could even change yourself, and you can even go as far as to say, I now, like, I'm a Black woman. I now identify as a white woman. I can say that now. It's gone that far now. So everything's changing in that regard. I mean, ignore it. It's going to be forgotten in a minute. So yeah, I will go as far as to say that once again, we are not, our information is out there. It's just that people ignore it. That's all. I don't know if that's simple enough to, what do you think about that? I mean, I got tons of books. The
You got mad
information's here.
books?
I got lots of books. I mean,
No,
women.
do you have mad books?
Yeah, I got mad books. Yeah, I actually collect books on Black women. I do. Also, collect books on Black women who, well, I'm sorry, that's to say that. Good Lord. Women who are mixed with Black people. I even those, the ones who go hard for Black people, I collect their books as well. Just to get, a perspective on that, on their life or how, or, what I'm saying? I will collect those. Those be good books. Okay. Because it teaches you the importance of not mixing and the importance of keeping your culture alive, keeping it as, natural as possible. So those are really good books. But look, I'm telling you, like, the information's there. So if it's being ignored like that, I mean, who has the power to, like, prop that up, or to make that known? And that goes back again to the dominant culture thing. So it's not going to be something important in this society. It's not going to be, because society says that the dominant culture is important. So it's always going to be, what it is. That's it. As compared to the Black man, I don't want to go there, because let them tell it. They catching more hell anyone, in this country. So to even challenge that, it's
Did you
like,
say let them tell it or let y'all tell it? Say y'all instead of them.
I don't really want to put you into that group of people I'm referring to. The majority of Black males in this country.
Okay.
I will say majority, because it's not, Black women's history and Black women's future is not something that matters to them. It's just not.
Are you talking about them suckers? Them sissified, punkified, Euroized devil's advocates.
I don't know, because just recently the whole manly man thing has come up again. From time to time it comes up. I know in Israel it's always it's always an issue. The man is the head and blah 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 and all that other stuff and whatever. But mainstream wise, it's starting to come up again, and
Thanks to Paul.
And
Shout out to
and
Paul.
their women, and what they say they want out of their women is to be, you know, basically a woman. Just, they say that women who run over a man, the man is now effeminate. The man is effeminate, or is now the woman, or whatever. And the sister today posted some pictures on YouTube. She posted a YouTube still of black women proposing to black men, and
Yeah.
the caption was like, "This is what we doing now." Like, who's the woman here? Like, yeah. So,
Ah.
what these manly men want is like basically what black women don't want, is a man telling them that they have to be in the kitchen, or they just have to be quiet and be pretty, or whatever. I'm really confused about the message that's going on with this manly man thing. I really am, because to be a man, you need masculinity and everything like that. But then what do you what are your expectations of the woman then? Like, because if a woman doesn't have any input, I mean, if she has input and a man, agrees with it, then now you're an effeminate male. Now you're the woman. That man has now become a woman. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just confused. It's confusing. It's confusing. So instead of black women dealing with all that nonsense, we do what Betty do and be like, okay, we just gonna wait and see who could top my husband, or if I could find a man at my level. If not, I'll work, I'll become more educated. I'll rise up, because Betty Shabazz was paid. If you look at her credentials, she was paid. She was in the health industry. She had a PhD in public health. She was making a lot of money. So she separated herself from that nonsense, I guess, because you don't read anything where you don't read anything except for she's just bettering herself, or getting into the community, actually doing things. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm not feeling that whole manly man thing. I mean, you already a man, so why do you have to say that you're a man or whatever? I mean, I don't know, teaching your sons to be men, they're already men. I mean, I think that you should teach them the role of a man and what men do, right? Like, I think that's what it is. But other than that, I mean, it's I don't know, maybe I don't know. I don't know, it's complicated to even. I'm just watching this stuff and just, eating my popcorn and see how this stuff blows over. But manly men, that's manly men. I thought that men were already manly. I don't know, whatever. But it has to do with black women though. So it's negative. It's a negative connotation. I take offense to it. Do you see why I take offense to it? After all I said, after all of that I've said.
Got booted out. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
The last thing I heard
I
was
hope you heard
teaching
it.
your sons, and then I got booted out.
Okay. Well, I was basically saying that all this manly man talk is offensive to me, because it's basically, in order to be a manly man, you can't have a black woman tell you anything.
There's a word for that. I'm not gonna use it. There's a word to describe all of that. Manly
because
man shit.
because that's what they're referring to. It wouldn't. I mean, that's the only thing they could be referring to. If you are feeling, if you have to say that I'm a man and I'm manly, who are you talking to?
Who you talking to?
You're talking to a black woman. You're not talking to the air. Because who wouldn't make you feel, who would make you feel like you're not a man and you have to say that I'm a man and I'm masculine, or for another man to tell another, for a man to tell another man, you need to be masculine. You're like a woman. So I don't know. Somebody said um it's because they haven't been with a woman before, or they're not with a woman on a regular basis. I just think that's ignorant. So this is why you get effeminate boys or effeminate males or whatever. I don't think it's that. I don't believe it's that, but whatever. I don't know. Whatever. It's annoying. Anyway, black woman is ignored, and there's no one to say, you know, pay attention to our women. And I went into why that is the case. So
You see this picture right here?
yeah,
Don't you see sisters out there?
yeah,
See that picture?
mhm, yeah,
You see a sister right there up front.
yeah. They would call that sister a fool. A lot of black women would call that sister a fool because she's out there fighting for something that black men should be fighting for. That's what they would say. And she's fighting, you know, for them, for to bring power to a black man. What do you think about that? Do you think black women should be on the front line? Because she was on the front line. I don't know if that was the front of the I don't know if that was the front, but it looked like it from the picture.
She's number 2 in the organization.
Right. Do you think that women should be on the front line? Because I've been hearing a lot of like crazy stuff, but then I had to go back. I did have to go back. Um, I'm not a scout. I was not a scout sniper. That's a whole different thing. Okay. And when I went back to do some research on that, you only get a handful. And I mean, you can count probably on two hands a woman that's qualified to be a scout sniper. So of course I was trying to go back to trying to find like some, elite, but then I was like, you know what, maybe there's not a lot of women to compete into, but then I did a little more research and yeah, a lot of women do compete, for those positions in the military and stuff like that. Do you think that women should be on the front line, should have responsibilities like that? Because there was this one cop that said, if there's a murder that happened or somebody got shot or there's a suspect that's or a perp that's unruly or whatever, and he hears over the walkie, the radio, and he hears a female voice, he's like, oh my God, like it takes away his morale, and he's like, oh my God, so I'm gonna be fighting by myself tonight, so that's what he was saying. So I was like, wow. Okay, so is that how they really think of us? Yeah, they do until you have to prove your skill level. You have to prove your skill set. You have to prove every damn thing, in order to run with men in that capacity. Do you think that women should be on the front line, knowing all of that?
I know they should. Not from a theoretical sense either. I know from combat. All of them fake ass Millie men, I seen them piss theyself and shit theyself. I seen them freeze. I seen sisters shoot and run a motherfucker over and keep moving like nothing, like ain't nothing happened. So, like I know from real life experience. You see what I'm saying? Like I know from real life experience. That's from combat. I know from my mother. I don't know. I know I said it up here a few times. You know, I got 3 other brothers. My mother said, if you ever see me in a fight with a bear, nigga, help the bear. You see what I'm saying? Like I know from I don't know these other people they be talking about. I know, you know, these warriors that I come from. So there is a place on the front line for the sisters. I'll be questioning some of these fucking punk ass brothers that's running around here. You know, Krista Muhammad is the head of the new Black Panther Party for Self Defense. She is the national chairwoman, the first of her kind. The first of her kind. And all of the slack that she get from them bitch niggas that's out there. You know, and for anybody, any man that's out here walking, that's in an organization or head of an organization that got a problem with a black woman being in charge, and you want to come at that sister, come see me. You could come see me directly. So like this sucker shit has spread so fucking far, and these punk motherfuckers is running around here sounding like our enemies and love with our enemies and looking for that. So that's what Frantz Fanon was talking about. The ultimate goal for this white motherfucker is to be human, and the ultimate goal for most of these fucking black men is to be white men. And these whites ain't even men. Their goal is to be human. Our ancestors wrote about it. It's in the scriptures. You see what I'm saying? Like, so when you start looking at that shit for really what it is, you see the cowardice that exists. But it ain't only cowards walking around this motherfucker either. So that's some serious ass chump shit. That is the chumpest shit I ever heard in my fucking life. And whoever standing next to any of them niggas talking that shit. Fuck out of here with that bullshit.
How black women being portrayed? I say they're ignored. And other and probably what you're referring to, you could be referring to the stereotypes, right?
Right.
You're gonna find unruly and crazy people and everywhere. I mean, it's just not black people, but the majority of, I don't believe the majority of black women act a certain way. It's as far as like revealing themselves, in a sexual way and everything like that. I don't think so. I think it's more exploited. More than anything. I mean, you see the pictures of some African tribes where they don't wear any clothes, like damn near no clothes, right? And that's exploited. Why would someone feel the need to take pictures of that and put it on the internet and call it learning about certain African tribes?
Well, we know who took them pictures and we know who put them out there.
That's what I'm saying. So it's exploitation there.
Who trained Jean-Jacques Dessalines? That sister from the Dahomey tribe. You see what I'm saying? Like, so the Dahomey tribe, where they got the shit from the Amazons and all that, like, Like they
Yes.
need to stop the stupid ass shit. Like that's the dumbest shit ever. You see what I'm saying? Like that's the dumbest shit ever they talking about. They talking about it because you got a bunch of mindless fucking following ass bitch motherfuckers that's running around here parroting everything they fucking hear. That came from women. How the fuck you get here? You see what I'm saying? Like where did you come out of? Where were you incubated at? Who nurtured your raggedy ass? You understand? Like what the fuck are you talking about? Like that shit is retarded. We place equal value amongst everybody in our family as African people, as black people, black men, black women, and black children. Ain't no fucking separation in that. Any separation in that, you don't got a fucking family. So this is why we're having this conversation about equal credence being given. If there's credence given to Malcolm X, why is there no fucking credence given to Dr. Betty Shabazz? Equal credence. On a respect factor. They like, oh, okay, yo, you know, you can't give credit to Malcolm without giving credit to Elijah Muhammad. Elijah Muhammad had a wife who introduced him to the man that he would call God in the person. Well, you know, they was Garveyites. There's an Amy Jacques Garvey and an Amy Ashwood Garvey that's responsible for the UNIA in Jamaica and the UNIA in the United States. If y'all listen every Warrior Wednesday at 7 p.m., our general gives an ode to the flag from Amy Jacques Garvey. There's no Shaka Zulu without his mother. Where the fuck did we get this conversation from? All of this stupid ass shit that we got running around. This is the dumb shit. And then you got the fucking back and forth tug of war shit about something that ain't even debatable. Black man, black woman, black child, that's the family. That's our triune egalitarian system. You can't call yourself nothing if you ain't taking care of your family. When the fuck did that become optional? Y'all really want to have no real ass conversation about none of these people y'all be talking about. That was my point right there. So there's no long pause and dead air.
Oh, okay.
What's my point?
So how are black people, black women portrayed?
I know how they betrayed.
Yeah, they're portrayed. Well, they're ignored, so they're not portrayed. You know,
Betrayed. That's another level
yeah.
of betrayal. Not we ain't talking about portrayal. I said the B word. Betrayed. Left alone, neglected, disrespected, dishonored, rejected, minimalized.
Yeah, and then sexually exploited.
Sexually exploited.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And portrayed as lesser than. So
Right.
it would be what's the word? Good Lord, I just had it. Have the black woman has been replaced or is being replaced
But what?
by other kinds of women other that who are not black.
and buy those bots. That's the word I'm gonna use from now on. Bots.
Right, because um it doesn't look success, black couple success just it's just not I guess it's rare. It doesn't look like I guess a black couple in a picture doesn't look successful. There's a few um celebrities who are black couples, but that's like what, a handful really, who have lots of money, like as far as like their wealth is concerned, and that's rare to see black couples that have who are mega wealthy like that. And it doesn't and the look of it, you know, the look of it I guess a black man would look feels like he'll look like a regular black man if he's with a black if he's with a black woman. Like he's that's like regular, and he doesn't want to be regular. He wants to be above average. So he would need to um go outside and yeah, the betrayal, yeah. So the I don't know, did that make sense? I'm trying to make it make sense. I understand what it means, what I'm trying to say and what it means. It doesn't look like you moved up if, if you're with a black woman because she's not valued, she's ignored. And it doesn't look like you're on the same level. Well, it doesn't look like he's on the same level with, the dominant man in the in society, right?
Look at Rod. Rod said ain't no sugar in his grits. Fuck that.
The majority of you guys do. I don't know about there's no small percentage, nothing. Whoever will have them, whatever non-black woman out there that will have them, they'll go and they'll try that. They'll go there. The problem is the access to those types of women. They have to bring something to the table. Unless that white woman is compromised, that white woman or that other type of woman is compromised. There's something is compromising about her if, a regular black man, is with her.
Put it on the other side of the comma. Not all of us think that way.
He said that it's a small percentage.
He misspoke. Rod, you misspoke, bro. No, the other comma part was what I was saying. Rod ain't having that shit. That's the other part. Saying no sugar in his grits.
I mean, listen. I mean, let's go back to since we were talking about Betty Shabazz, let's talk about Malcolm X for a moment. What did he do before he got right? What was he doing? Who was he dating? Who's he sleeping with?
We ain't messing with that.
Yeah, until he realized.
Yeah, we know what that is.
That was wrong. He realized it was wrong. And what did he do?
We know what that is, and then it got to be some evidence. I don't,
Hey, he probably did.
Oh.
I mean, people make mistakes. People go through things before they become, a lot of people correct their wrong.
Right.
So you're saying you don't think that he did that?
I'm going to leave that. That's what I'm going to say. I'm leaving that. Yeah.
All right. Well, this is what was said. So
Right.
Even, well, I mean, okay, all right. Since we're going, I'm gonna go there. Um, People would say, well, if it didn't come out of the mouth of the person, it didn't happen. Maybe the person didn't want to talk about it, but other people around them talked about it. Right? That could be something too. Then you have people who sort of perceived a situation and wrote about it. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Or there could be errors or whatever. The point is, damn it, we all read out of books.
Right. Right.
And I'm
No,
using this as an example.
I know what you're saying, and you absolutely correct. So that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I'm leaving that.
Okay, because he himself has said he was a degenerate, and that's a part of degeneracy, if you ask me.
That's the deepest part. That's as low
Yeah,
as you can fucking
yeah.
go.
So I'm okay with assuming that, yeah, he was messing around with white women. But then when he came to, how he say it, he came into the, what was the words he used of Elijah Muhammad? He said how he came into. Did he say wisdom? I don't know what word he used. And it escapes me right now, but that's what he said. He consciously chose an exotic looking woman. I'm using it correctly. The definition of exotic is a woman from, if I say exotic woman, a woman from another place other than your own, another country or another place in your own, who had African features. He purposefully did that. Right? I will go as far as to say that. And people say, "Oh, well, love this or whatever." No, your choices in this matter need to be intentional. Who you marry and who you sleep with, who you date, it needs to be intentional.
That's right.
Okay, first you looking at the look first, then you move on to the other stuff. That's how it's supposed to go. And he did that, and it's evident that he did that. And compared to, I don't know, Martin Luther King Jr., I'm just gonna put it out there. Look, his wife was straight up mixy. I'm gonna put that out there. It's no disrespect. It is what it is. But that look right there, I don't know. People say, "Oh no, it was love. It was just," I don't know. I don't know about that. But I'm gonna leave that right there. I'm gonna just leave that right there.
You just leave that.
Yep,
Right
I'm gonna leave
there.
it right there for people to deal with. But yeah,
Friday night frights. We getting back to the behind whoopers next week. We took a week off to honor a true African warrior, a survivor, one who used resilience and used her gifts, her talents, and her skills for the benefit and uplift of young African women. Dr. Betty Shabazz. Back next week. I think Sash, you got the topic. We're back to whooping me on some other topic next week. So Ra, we gotta tune in every week. Okay.
he missed it last time because
Missed two
I
good
I kicked
weeks.
his butt. Yeah, I kicked his butt like,
Twice in a
with
row
that Love Jones.
consecutively.
No,
I
with
think
that. Yeah,
I think the internet felt so bad for me that they took it down. It was like, no.
yeah. See, told you. I mean, come on. That was some of my best work.
That was some good work. Okay, so next week,
That was some of my best work.
Sash will have a topic, and the week after, I think we'll do two can play that game or something. I don't know something. We'll do something.
I mean, that wasn't. I mean, well, it's popular in the black community. I'll take that back. It is in our community. Everybody know that movie. Everybody should know that movie. That movie is hilarious.
For real. So we went 24 minutes over, 25 minutes over the
Something
hour
like that.
mark. all good. But we out of here. We not messing with you, Rob. Robbie trying to keep us up 2 and 3 hours and be like, yeah, I just came through here to say what's up, you know.
Yeah. So with that being said, Shabbat Shalom in the morning and Shalom